What's happening, everyone? This is the Republic of Gaming episode 1, and with me today we have Paddy Toner and Seamus Fanning. How are you doing, lads?
Could be better. It'll be fun anyway.
Fairly warm.
Yeah,
unseasonably tropical weather.
It is some crazy Irish weather that we're getting the last couple of days. It's not exactly video game weather, but we're going to play video games anyway, aren't we? So first of all, this is our first episode for the Republic of Gaming, and just as a kind of a round question to get the ball rolling, I want to just ask you to tell me your favorite game of all time and why. Seamus, I'll throw it to you first.
My favorite game is Final Fantasy VII because, well, I got it when I was 8 years old, and it took me more than 3 days to finish it, and it kind of got me into story-driven games, and I've literally completed nearly every single one of them in the series. Apart from 15, that disappointed me.
So are you looking forward to the remake, or do you think it's going to maybe destroy some of the old magic that the original had? Or tell me how you feel about it.
I was very, very much so behind it, and then I found out it's going to be episodics and all DLC, so it literally has disappointed me to no end. But I'm still going to play it.
I don't know whether you heard recently, but they started remaking it again. They literally scrapped everything.
Yeah, they scrapped everything, and they started a new team. They hired a whole new team for it. I do try to keep up to date with it, but it's a lot. I think a lot of the team that they have behind it now are going to be mostly the team that was behind 15, and 15 just didn't do it for me.
Okay. I actually liked 15. I thought because it was a little bit different. I do get people's gripes with the fact that you have to go and watch a movie and you have to do this and you have to do that just to get the gist of what's going on. I thought Kingsglaive was a really, really good movie, actually. Kind of underrated, if you ask me. But to have to go through all these different medias just to get a general idea of what the game is about, I thought kind of maybe took away from it. But I really enjoyed 15. I can see with the development cycle that towards the end of the game, it does get a little bit more linear, and it takes you away from the kind of the road trip as it kind of was promoted before release. But I enjoyed it. With 7, I wouldn't be surprised if that game was just cancelled, because with the length of time it's gone on, and just people are looking forward to it. And they also had that reveal at E3, I remember, where it was a big Final Fantasy VII, and people lost their cool, but it was actually just I think it was a remaster of the old game released on consoles. So they were kind of trolling people as well. But look, if they do want to put their energy into it, I think it's going to cost a lot, and it's a very difficult thing to take a masterpiece like that and improve it. I only think they're going to do damage to it. But look, that's just my opinion. I'm a huge fan of the game as well. Paddy, what's your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game would be Super Mario World, just for the simplicity and how long it was great as a child to play it. And I'd still play it this day and keep going back to play it. I love the way you can pick it up with your brother, your sister, anyone you want, your daughter, anyone can play it. You just pick it up and start going. That's what gaming's about.
I definitely agree with the retro style of things. And I have a son, he's 6 now, and he can turn on. He actually loves Mario. Like he noticed him straight away. Like, and for a character to be timeless like that it's something special. But yeah. 2 great choices. I will go with my choice. Una Ming, shout out to her, Republic of Gaming member, and one of the Loser Club's member as well. She's going to hate me for this, but Dark Souls, the original Dark Souls game, is my favorite game of all time. And as you guys definitely know,
and appalled.
So that'll kind of segue us into the next part of the show is what we're playing. So you can guess the remaster just got released this week, and I've been jumping in on that. I got it a day early on Steam because I had the Prepare to Die edition. So you got, I think, Seamus, you were saying earlier it was 50% off. It was 20 quid anyway. I thought it was ridiculous. So I was like, I'll jump on it. I was going to get it for PlayStation, but it was just cheaper on PC, and it runs really well. So that's what I've kind of been jumping in on. What have you guys been playing?
Well, I've been playing Fortnite.
Surprise.
I was asked not to say it, but I'm saying it anyway.
Well, look, there's three of us here. There's always going to be one of us playing the most popular game of all time.
No, I've been playing Fortnite mostly, and some God of War.
Let's talk a little bit about Fortnite. What is it that keeps bringing you back to that game? I know there's so many different elements of that game. There's the building, there's the shooting, but why do you think it has got as big as it has? Like it's just blown up, like, and everybody's playing it. It seems.
I don't know. I think mostly because it's a different outcome every game you play. Like it's a different situation. If you drop in the middle of a field or you drop in the middle of a town, every game is completely different. Where you always have to, and it's very much a skill-based game. Like to get the building under control and to learn how to shoot right and to move and what direction to take and what angle to take your opponent at. And it's probably got huge. The kids absolutely love it, and I think it's the fact that it's so hard to get a win. And they PubG and everything is trying to say now that they're copying them, but I think it's a very different game.
Like, I can agree with that. Yeah,
like it's a lot more artistic, and I think there's more to it. You know what I mean? I understand PubG it's its own game, but it's not a very original. It is original, but it's not original. Do you know what I mean?
Well, PUBG came from an Arma mod, like, so if they want to say that, well, look, Fortnite are copying us, and we're going to talk a little bit about that situation in our news section, but if they want to say that Fortnite is copying PUBG, well, they came from that Arma mod, so they're not exactly original, which that's a great
they just
point.
have the developer on it, don't they? Same fella.
Exactly. And I think Epic, the one thing I will say about Epic, I prefer playing PUBG just because it's more kind of my style of game, that kind of sim style. But I have so much appreciation for Fortnite and the way Epic have developed that game. From when that game was first released, it was dropped on, just dropped into the world, and people were getting it for free, and people were kind of feeling out and what it was. And every month, it's just got more polished and more polished. That I've played it on PC now, and oh my god, it's actually gorgeous to look at on PC.
Yeah,
and you talked about the artistic style,
Disney looking.
Yeah, exactly. But the artistic style, I think, help it create a more more character. It allows them to optimize the game a lot better, because with PUBG it's more realistic and it's obviously harder to optimize.
Like a fantasy world, do you know what I mean? It's obviously not existent. Do you know what I mean?
But it's great. It's great to have these
escape into that.
It's great to have. Sorry. No, work on. It's great that they have these seasons and these little stories, and I think it was the last one they had the cutscene at the start, which was huge. Like, I remember turning that on with my son, and he was like, "There's a cutscene? Like, what the hell is this?" And to add small things like that into a game, and for people to get excited about, and the fact that it's free as well. And I think PUBG is ahead of the game for one simple reason. And that is because it's on the PlayStation 4. I think if PUBG was on the PS, sorry,
PUBG is on Xbox.
Sorry, Fortnite. I'm talking about Fortnite. Because Fortnite is on the PS4, best-selling console, for this generation, and it's killing it. And for a game to pop onto that console for free, people are going to check that thing out, whether they like it or not. It's not a case that they have to invest into that game to try it out. It's a case that they're okay, let's just try this out, and they try it and they become addicted to it. And like I said, I really appreciate that, and it's no shocker that one of us here is flat out playing it.
It's a great social game as well. It's great to hang out with your mates on it and talk and just have a casual game, and you enjoy just playing it all evening, just talking to your friends.
I think their biggest selling point though is the fact that they have made it for all ages. Like, whereas PUBG is more realistic, it has more bloodshed and stuff like that, and it's a little bit more in depth when it comes to aiming distances and stuff. Like, I know you have to adapt in Fortnite, but in PUBG is a lot more realistic, and kids and stuff wouldn't get the hang of it as quick as people pick up Fortnite, and you just press buttons and it does everything for you. Like, it's the learning curve for it isn't as steep as PUBG, even though it's on the same level of his game. Like, it's another battle royale, and I think battle royales at the moment are they're taking off in the market all over the place, really. So it's only the way forward at the moment for advertising games.
No, definitely.
Do you think it's a fad?
I do think it's a fad. I think it'll die out like just like all the other kind of games. I think maybe PubG and Fortnite will be the ones that survive, like the likes of League of Legends and Dota survive through the mobile market.
Yeah.
I don't see it expanding as much.
You don't think EA will try and take a stab out of it?
Oh, I'm waiting for Dark Souls PubG or Dark Souls Battle Royale now. Like,
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what we need.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind a Mario version or something. Someone was on about a Mario 64.
Yeah, they did a Mario 64 mod. They're trying to make that thing. And I was like, if they worked in, like, so if they're going to do it with the 64 kind of mod, if they worked in stuff from like Ocarina of Time and stuff for aiming bows and slingshots and stuff, they could actually make a really interesting game with that.
Yeah, that'd be good with throwing the shells at each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or even put like a Mario Kart thing into it or something. I don't know. I think it would take it to a next level, really.
So I don't think it's going to actually phase out, but I think what will happen is it'll just become the norm. Like a team deathmatch, I think it will just be, okay, there's a battle royale mode. And I think when it gets to that stage, it will just be, because like what I always feel when I play PUBG, it's a very nearly big investment. Each game is a huge investment. Yeah. Whereas Fortnite, you can kind of jump in and out. You can go tilted and get shot after 5 seconds, or you can, you can do a long run where we always used to go to that place at the north of the map with the
start off on the river, run up the mountain.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. But I don't think it's going to phase out. I do think it's going to get less and less popular. But I think it's just going to become the norm. And at the moment, I mean, the two of them that are leading the way is Fortnite and PUBG. So it's fantastic that we have something new. Do you know what I mean? It's rare. It's like music. It's very rare that a new genre comes out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's always someone copying someone, and now it's a case where Fortnite and PUBG are being copied by the likes of Activision, and Red Dead, Rockstar are rumored to be doing it as well. So it's fantastic. Seamus, what are you playing?
Well, I've also been playing Dark Souls Remastered, but I also got a game last week. It was part of, it's kind of like a Castlevania game. It's called Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon. I'm very into Castlevania games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
2D.
It was 2D. It was actually part of a Kickstarter campaign for a Castlevania game, and when they hit the milestone, another company actually created Bloodstone: Curse of the Moon, and it's very like the old Castlevanias up to about like Castlevania 1 through 3. But it's like, if you could take those 8-bit games and make a 12-bit version of them, that's where it's at. It's not quite like a 16-bit like Mega Drive game or like a SNES game. It's kind of like just past the NES games. But it's it's not that long. It's only like 10 levels long. I completed it in like 2 hours, but that's because I really do love those games. Okay. But it's only a tenner, and it's on the Switch, it's on the PlayStation, it's on the Xbox, it's on everything. But I just think it's a really good thing. Like I like supporting indie developers anyway. But I love those kind of games anyway. So if anything like that comes out, I will always try it. Like, but I did enjoy it for what it was worth, and then I just tried it on the hardcore difficulty and got killed straight away and haven't touched it since.
Nice. I wonder what Platinum Jack is playing this week.
Oh, Platinum Jack, yeah.
Where is he?
He's finishing God of War, isn't he? I think that's what he's aiming
Yes, he is. He's gone
with no mic. We won't be hearing from this week. He has no mic.
Yeah, so Jack was meant to be guesting on with us, and he broke his mic. We think he did it on purpose because he got too nervous, but look, we'll never know. And shout out to Platinum Jack. You ruined our trophy section, Jack. So just to continue on, we're gonna just have a shout out to something that's happening this weekend. It is Gamerfest 2018. It is on in the Strand Hotel, Limerick City, and it's a 2-day event, the 2nd and 3rd of June. There is going to be our good friends, the Allcast Irish Gamers. They're entertaining as always. If you get a chance to see them guys, definitely check them out. They will have you laughing from start to finish. They are presenting the show. And yeah, they're just great fun, and they're friends of the Republic of Gaming as well. There's going to be an esports arena that you need to go and check that thing out. I'm not sure whether they're going to have pros at this thing, but definitely jump in. There's going to be FIFA and I'm sure Rocket League, stuff like that. the live stage, which is where the all cast will be. You're going to have a player zone, which is going to be just all the latest blockbusters, and VR are going to be set up there. So check that area out. And the retro zone there's going to be a retro zone set up, which Retro Gamer Ireland is going to be hanging about, as he usually does. Shout out to Nisha. So yeah, if you're going, come and say hi to us. We'll be wearing these Republic of Gaming t-shirts representing. And yeah, we'll be hanging around and just having some fun and playing some video games. Are you guys going to be there?
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, should be. Yeah,
Pick a fan up on the way, supposedly.
Nice.
I'm right here.
You can pick me up as well. If you
I think Mullingar is the opposite way.
I want to drink a few beers while we're up there.
We'll all get in the van. Get in the van.
The Republic of Drunks.
So we'll move swiftly on. We're going to jump into news here, because there's actually a good bit to cover, and a couple of news stories dropped today, which I'm really happy about, that we have a bit of a scoop. So we got two new games that dropped today that are going to be shown at E3, and the first one is Fallout 76. It got a reveal trailer today, and the trailer tells very little about what's going on. There's a couple of dates thrown back and forth, and 76 is obviously one of the vaults. I think it's mentioned in, I believe it's Fallout 3. It's one of the control vaults. And yeah, it's we're going to be getting another Fallout game, I guess. I'm very surprised. I think if you ask me, I think I would have preferred maybe an Elder Scrolls game or maybe a new IP. But look, we're getting another Fallout game, and it's never a bad thing. I mean, people love these games. How are you guys feeling about a new Fallout game?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed the last one, and hopefully this one. I was expecting a different game myself, and I wasn't expecting it just to come out straight out with a Fallout again.
Yeah, it's a huge shocker.
I'm not so much a fan of the Fallout series. It's not that I'm not a fan of it. I don't really play them. I played them when they were RTS games on the PC, like eons ago. But not since they kind of... so I played a bit of Fallout 3, and then... But I can see like the pattern they're kind of going with. Like they probably won't release another game now for like another 8 or 9 years after this one. Like they did 3, and then they did New Vegas 2 years later, and then they did 4 2 years ago, and there's another one this year. So they're probably not going to release another game for another like 6 years maybe. But I don't know. I don't know if they should have done this as a new game. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it's going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be a big new place or anything like that, or is it just going to be something that they could have used as DLC for Fallout 4?
Yeah. That's the thing. The reveal trailer shows very little. We will put that up on the Republic of Gaming website or Facebook for anyone that hasn't seen it. That trailer will be up tomorrow. It tells very little. It's basically just it just kind of goes through one of these vaults, and everything seems fine. There's stuff. Beds are made, and there's no madness going on. So I'm just wondering, is it going to be a little bit held back? I'm sure there is going to be a situation where you're thrown out into the world and you've got to survive once again. It doesn't look,
Is there a release date on it?
No, there's no release date.
Couple of years away.
I'm sure we're going to get that at E3. Bethesda have a...
Going to throw a spanner in the works here. Could it be a Fallout Battle Royale?
I seen that rumor thrown around earlier on. Somebody tagged me. Shout out to Oren, actually, from Mullingar here. He tagged me, and somebody actually put, instead of the 76, it was Battle Royale, because everybody's doing a Battle Royale game.
Well, in all fairness, they do create really expansive and creative worlds. So why couldn't they do one?
Yeah, well, if you look at what the problem for me is the gameplay. Like you have with the new Fallout games anyway, you have that VAT system where it's you slow down time and you pick your points of weakness on your enemy. Like how will they incorporate that? I mean, the first person mechanics in the latest Fallout game, they're fine, but they're not. You're better off going into VATs and picking weaknesses, and your chance of severing a leg is 76%, so you shoot there. I don't know how it would work as a battle royale. I'm sure if they put their heart and soul into it, they could do something. And you know what, thinking about it now, maybe they are trying to jump on this bandwagon, but I hope they're not. I don't want to see too many games just copying the biggest fad. I want to see games trying something different. And what I see,
angle.
What's that?
Yeah.
Given their own angle, I don't want to see it too much either. I think if we see it too much, it'll definitely die out a lot quicker than it should.
You can see it happening though, like with H1Z1 and stuff like that. And like H1Z1 had King of the Hill as well, and I don't know why they just didn't stick to that, because that was their big selling point originally, was just that they had King of the Hill. For them to have a battle royale now as well, I think it's like going to be like a too many cooks thing, unless. And I think
the graphics in H1Z1 are very bad though. Jesus, on the PlayStation.
I like that
they're probably all right in the PS. I said they're all right in the PlayStation Pro, to be fair, because they're beautiful on the PC. The thing about H1Z1, I think Fortnite and all of them, I think they're going to have self-generating maps soon to keep it kind of original. I think that's the next step for them.
Fortnite changes the map nearly every season.
Yeah, I think Fortnite is in a great position where they can change little bits, and people are like, "Oh, this is totally different," or "That's totally different." Whereas the others, I mean, PubG has a very the maps are very bland. I will say that H1Z1, I actually really enjoyed that game. I had a couple of games I played on PC and PS4. It doesn't run as well on PS4, but I still think there's something there. That there's differences there that I like. There's the fact that cars are so, vehicles are so powerful in that game that sometimes you do get chases and stuff like that. I do like the military drops that you come across. Just the little things that I think they're doing differently that I like. But yeah, look, I think we're going to see a lot of battle royale iterations this E3, and I just hope it's not a case where another battle royale game is coming out. But look, but
it hasn't actually been that many yet.
No, there hasn't been.
Everyone's talking like there's loads, but there actually hasn't been that many.
And the reason why I think there isn't that many is because I think that is a difficult thing to do. I really do. I think it's a difficult thing, because if you remember back, like the most players that I ever seen on a map that I played was Battlefield, and it was 64 players on a map. And at the time that was chaos. It was crazy. And now they're doing 100, and I do think it's difficult. And I think that's why games aren't to the level of, AAA graphics in these games. Fortnite, I can argue with because of the art style, but the other games that are going for a more realistic look are finding it difficult to get optimization for those games. But look, time will tell. I'm sure if Activision throw a lot of money into their Call of Duty Battle Royale, it will be polished within an inch of its life.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think we've seen the best of it yet. The big boys haven't got their hands on them yet.
Very true.
We don't know what's coming.
I don't know. I don't know if Activision can pull it off. Like, I don't know. Activision are now old Blizzard, and Blizzard make World of Warcraft and stuff. And like for years and years, they've had hundreds and hundreds of people fight each other on maps and stuff. So it's not like the crowd control side of it they'd have a problem with. So they could pull it off, and it could be magnificent. I just feel that Activision, Call of Duty games, at the order, I suppose maybe it's because I'm getting older, they're just getting lazier and lazier with the games, and it doesn't seem like that anything gets improved as they go along.
Throwing out the same game every year.
Yeah, just a new skin on the same game.
Yeah.
And it'll be number one seller every year.
Out of FIFA there, you'll never.
Hold on, I just pre-ordered.
Same game.
Hold on, I just pre-ordered Black Ops 4 there.
And there's no single player campaign this time around for the newest Call of Duty. It's all
that's
online.
The start of how games are going to go. They're like FIFA and everything, all them kind of games are that keep giving the same game out every year. It's basically going to be a rental system that you're going to have on the PlayStation or the PC or anything like that there, and they're just going to keep giving you updates. Why would they keep releasing physical copies or keep trying to, when they can just do patches and make
we want them
a little bit better? Huh?
Because we want them, the physical copies.
I know you want everyone. I don't. The physical copies are coming to an end. The next 10, 15 years is going to be very hard just to keep getting them. Why would they keep making them when they can do digital downloads all the time? You're going to see more of stuff that you like. If you go into GameStop now, it's half memorabilia, half games.
Oh, it's a good 75%.
It's probably 75. They're making the transfer now into memorabilia because physical copies. It's going to die out. To me, it is anyway. I think it looks like that's the way it's going to go.
I have gone off physical copies for the last maybe 6-7 years, so I'm on the digital the digital side of things already. Yeah, that's just the way I am. I think I don't know. It's just for me, it's just handy. I'm not really pushed with big kind of physical collections. I've got this room, and I mean, if I was to have a physical copy of all the games that I have on my PlayStation, this room would just be full. Like, so, it's and it was the same when I used to DJ. I had CDs and vinyls and everything, and then I just switched over to MP3, and it was just, you know, it was handier, and you could have everything.
There is something good about having the physical copy there, even if
there definitely is, like, there definitely is, and I would never snub anyone
for the game stuff.
The problem is, though, with the games these days, is you're buying a digital copy in a physical form. Like, you buy it, you upload it to your PlayStation, and then you're just using it as a key to operate it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're just taking up storage on your PlayStation already. So you're taking up storage on your PlayStation, and you're taking storage in your house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not the same as it was. Like, it's gone the way PC games went a good few years ago, where it's just basically a key. Do you know what I mean? To open the game.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see that. Well, the only thing I don't really keep physical copies of is PC games, and that's because you can get like CD keys for half nothing online. Like,
yeah, but that's the way PC games were. You know, at the start they came in and put a disc, and then
PC led the way, definitely.
And then you needed the disc to play it.
I have a physical copy of Half-Life there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I actually have Half-Life 2, believe it or not, on PC.
LAN party.
Yeah. So let's move it on just a little bit here. Fano, this is going to be directed more to you because I have zero interest. I could bring my son in, he could probably jump on this. But the second new game was a new Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. And I think this is going to be a series of Pokemon games that's going to be released for that system. But we got was it a trailer that was released today? To be honest, I didn't even look at the thing. I just seen a couple of snapshots. And
yeah, the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee or whatever it is. I have zero interest in this. I think like it's going to be an absolute rip off. Like, you interact between your Switch and your phone, and it's literally Pokemon Go on the Switch with like a small bit of like an actual Pokemon game, like a 3DS game or something like integrated in it. Like, you can have your Pokemon farm and walk around and look at your Pokemon and stuff. I just think it's an absolute cop out, like, for an actual Pokemon game to come up onto the Switch. So like, that's, people bought Switches when they heard there was going to be Pokemon on it and stuff like that, and I feel like this is just a complete cop out from Nintendo. I'm actually not happy about it at all.
I think they're just jumping on the Pokemon Go bandwagon. It was massive for a while last year. I think they're just trying to give it another go.
Played it today while he went for a
I
run.
was playing it today. I was playing it on my phone.
There you go.
Did it lag out when you were playing it?
No, my phone's internet's better.
4G, baby.
I was living on the 4G bandwagon for a while.
Fano's getting destroyed here. He's just going to leave, I think.
I think that's definitely a cop out from Nintendo. Like, Pokemon is a massive, like, it's every time it releases a game, they just sell everywhere, and it has been for years and years and years since we were kids. And everyone loves it. The people still collect the cards and everything, and they just went the easy way and probably bought the license off. Who was it that brought Pokemon Go?
It begins with N.
So I don't know who it was, but they obviously sold the license for it. Niantic brought it out.
Yeah, but the fact they put the Game Freak banner on it, like the Game Freak banner is on this, like, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go whatever. Like, it's a bit. It's a massive couple. Like, Game Freak made all the Pokemon games, and like, if you see that name, you associate it with the good Pokemon games. Now it's just going to be associated with something that's an absolute cop out.
Pokemon Blue, yeah.
Oh, I should have a copy within arm's reach.
Pokemon Blue.
Yeah, Blue, Yellow, and Crystal.
I remember I got it as a child, and my mother borrowed it off me, and she finished it in one night, and I didn't get to play it before she did. I sickened. Yeah, I go to school, man. You play that.
So let's so nobody's looking forward to the Nintendo Switch Pokemon game. I'm sure there's people in the chat that are going to be like,
for lack of having a Switch.
Platinum Jack probably wants it.
Platinum Jack is going to
No, he doesn't. No, he's against it too.
Okay, so the next story kind of dropped last week. It was the reveal trailer. Well, they had a kind of a conference. DICE had this kind of release conference for the new Battlefield game, Battlefield V. And it is after, blowing up the internet. I mean, people are pissed about this thing, and the reason why is because the historical accuracy aren't to what people want it to be. It's based in a World War II, and they're saying that because there's female characters in the trailer, people are losing their cool, and they're bringing up, you know, old wikis that there's never been a female soldier in on the English lines and all this kind of stuff. I can give my 2 cents about it first. I think it's all a lot of, you know, crap that somebody can turn around and say, I'm not happy with this game because, you know, it was too crazy. There's a female with a, I seen somebody saying it was a robotic arm, and from what I could tell, it was a prosthetic, which were back at them times. No, they may have not been allowed into the front line or whatever, into the war, but they were definitely there back then. Then I seen someone else saying, why is that dude wearing headphones? There was no such thing as headphones, but like, this is just a lot of crazy stuff that people are giving the opinion that don't really have a clue. The way I think DICE want to bring this game is, and I think it's a great way to do it, is they want to have an online mode, but they want to give people a uniqueness. So there's so much to unlock here that everybody kind of looks different. And yes, it might take away from the griminess of what Battlefield 1 had. Everyone looked the same. But I think to give character and to give a little bit of, you know, swagger to your character, I think is one of the reasons why you play those games, is to unlock the next best thing and to add this to your character, to add that to your character. They're bringing in, you know, weapons attachments that now you can add to your weapon. And I'm looking forward to it. I wasn't crazy about the trailer. I thought it was a little bit over the top, a little bit Call of Duty for my liking. But look, it's Battlefield and it's DICE, and I'll be there day one anyway, checking that thing out just to see what's going on. What's your guys' opinion? Fano, let's go to you first. If you play Battlefield.
I haven't played Battlefield since Battlefield 3, but my favorite of any of them games that they've made over the last couple of years was when they brought back Medal of Honor. That for me was like them getting back to their best for me. Like, I can't see that they have anything to bring me back to playing Battlefield. But then again, when I did play Battlefield, I played it on the PC and people were glitching through walls and stuff, and that was just the end of it for me. I don't think, like, the historical accuracy thing, like, we'll just leave that aside. There's people being assholes.
Yeah, totally.
I think ever since they start, like, even when they started doing Battlefront and they were just like basically reskinning Battlefield and turning it into Star Wars, I feel like they haven't really offered anything new or given us anything that people actually wanted in games. I think it's just they want to just jump on the bandwagon, like Call of Duty just had World War II, so now they have to. I don't see anything that hasn't been done. I'd like to see them try something outside the box, like maybe go down the route of like a Black Ops or an Advanced Warfare or something. Just add something completely outside the box to it.
So I don't know whether you've seen or you heard or you seen the conference, but they're actually adding a building element, and the people were comparing it a lot like Fortnite, where a building might get trashed, but you can set up, you can set up that place as a base, and you can add like a turret gun at the front of it. You can add like reinforced steel at the back, and it's going to be done like a kind of, not like a grid like Fortnite, but more like if you take out your toolbox, a yellow spot will appear where you build. So I don't know if you want to look at that as something different. I know it is a little bit Fortnite-y, but what I did like about the trailer is they didn't turn around and say, yes, we're doing a battle royale mode, because I don't think they need to do that with Battlefield. I play Battlefield.
I think they have their own battle royale mode already, to be fair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just respawn.
Yeah, exactly. They do have enough people on the map at all times for it to be entertaining.
It's absolute chaos.
But they don't need to go down that bandwagon at all. I think that would be them selling out like completely. Unless
there is rumors that they are bringing
it,
but it's going to be an update. That's the rumor, that they will bring it, but it's going to be an update, and they're not going to have it as the forefront on release.
I don't see why it bothers them that there's a female character so much. I think people just like to complain. And it's the same people that go out and still buy it and still play it and probably still complain about it.
That's a great point.
Buy it year in and year out.
So it'll be all of us, yeah.
I don't like it like this. I don't like it like that. I don't like it the other thing.
Because they were comparing it to the Call of Duty, I think it was the Infinity War trailer that was the highest disliked on YouTube, and it still went on to be the best-selling game that year. So, I mean, I think you have to look at bad publicity is still publicity at the end of the day. Everyone's still talking about it. Everyone's still arguing about it.
That's happy about that. There's a female character, and it was nothing wrong. There should be more of them in games. There's nothing wrong with it.
I totally agree. I think it brings female players even in to say, well, why can't it be a female? Do you know what I mean? Why
It may
can't
not be on English lines, but they're on plenty other lines.
Exactly. French Revolution, there were
Yeah.
Nazi
Open a tin of beans
snipers.
here, lads. I open a tin of beans here, lads.
No, I think we're being okay about it. Like, I think we're all in the agreed kind of like side that women in video games is okay, and for people to be losing their shit over a little, I mean, it was like a 30-second clip of the game, and everybody thinks that they know exactly what's going to be happening in the game.
Yeah, they don't have a clue. It could be
they haven't a clue. We want it, like, because if you watch that trailer again, it looks very scripted and it looks like not gameplay. It kind of is
hype.
Exactly.
An EA trailer.
Yeah, it's an EA trailer. Exactly. It's done like it's a scripted gameplay trailer, if you want to call it. So yeah, like that's where we are in that. I think it's ridiculous. But anyway, Battlefield 5, World War II, plenty of customization, and you know, it looks like a Battlefield game. And I mean, Battlefield have been doing it fairly right and have sold very well for the last 3 or 4 iterations. So I'm looking forward to that game to see what they do and see where they bring that series.
I'll be buying it.
You'll be buying a Paddy, will you?
Yeah, I will.
You'll be getting away from the old Fortnite for that week.
For a week and then go back.
I'll be updating for that week.
Yeah. So next, so to segue on to our next news bulletin is the PubG Corp are suing Epic, which is ridiculous if you ask me on the get-go.
See Paddy shaking his head there.
But what they're suing them for is they're not suing them for the game mode that they took. They're suing them because of similar user interface and weapon design. But when I see weapon design, I mean, PUBG didn't create the SCAR. PUBG didn't create an AR. It's crazy what's happening here, and I think they're just doing this because they're losing, basically.
They're losing big time. That's the problem. They think they made it up and they didn't. They didn't even make the genre up at all. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why they're trying to say that they did, and they're getting jealous now that Fortnite is doing better than them.
It's a little bit.
My thing about it is like they don't have similar graphics at all. They run off two different graphics engines. Yeah. So how can you say that the weapons are the same? Like they're not going to look the same if they don't use the same graphics engine. Yeah,
the weapons are all oversized in Fortnite as well. Like they're all massive compared to the ones that be in PUBG.
The user interface as well, like what you see on the screen, like the building element and stuff like that on the right hand side. On the left, I think is the mini map, is it? Or I'm trying to think what
the left
exactly
is a mini map,
and then the top you have the compass. So to me, that's just like every other first person game ever. And I think the argument here that Epic are going to put forward is they're going to grab games previously that are like, that are like Fortnite and PUBG, and they're just going to compare. And I think PUBG don't have a leg to stand on with this one. I think it actually makes me want to play PUBG less that they're doing this. Like I would prefer if PUBG went and concentrated on actually optimizing their game and making new maps and making new game modes and trying to push their game in a direction where I think it should go. I think the only thing that's been left in the dust here is PUBG, and I think the fact that they're being left in the dust is because they're not doing enough on the development side of things. Fortnite are leaving them in the back window, to be quite honest.
They want to be with all them updates they have.
But this is like if like Acclaim and Capcom went to war and were like, who was first, like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat? Like, why does it matter? First of all,
believe it or not, that actually happened, Fano. Capcom did actually bring, it was like a something Warriors game. When Street Fighter was released, and there was a lawsuit, and they ended up losing because all they did was compare games previously. It's ridiculous that this day and age people can say, or people can try and sue someone for a similar game or game mode or whatever you want to call it.
They must think they have some kind of leg stand on door, but they're really trying to waste that much money doing it.
Is it to connect themselves with the most popular game at the moment? Like, is that what they have?
But they are connected. You can't say PUBG without saying Fortnite, can you?
Well, I think if I asked my son, do you know what PUBG is? He wouldn't have a clue. and he plays
No.
Fortnite on a regular basis. Like, he's 6, his friends play it, and if I said to them, what's PubG? PubG is I think we've mentioned it already. It's aimed at a more mature audience. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of more sim-like than Fortnite, but then again, Fortnite has more character, and I don't know. I think it's strange. Like, there's no building element in PUBG. There is in Fortnite. I really don't think they have a leg to stand on. The only thing that people might say is when PUBG was released, Fortnite came out with their game mode. What was it called? The
Save the world.
Save the World. Yeah, it was like a 4-player co-op mode, and I think 3 weeks after that was released, they said, "Oh, hold on a second, PUBG is doing well. Let's release a PUBG mode or a battle royale mode." And I think that's where PUBG got a little bit, antsy. But I think it's business at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Everybody copies everyone, and you just have to
Exactly,
deal.
yeah.
You just have to deal with it. Like, it's the same in the music industry. Like, you think anyone at this day and age has an original piece of music? No, because they're influenced by previous musicians and previous years, and
Who listen to that day?
it's the exact same thing. Like, and you can't go and just sue someone because they're copying you or doing this or doing that. It's after souring me towards PUBG, and I really like PUBG. I have a new PC now. I play it, most nights, but I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, why can you not just go and actually put more effort into making a better game rather than spending your time doing this
Yeah, put
this
some
silly,
creativity into it.
exactly, this silly lawsuit. It's funny, but look, we'll see what happens. I don't think they'll have a leg to stand on. It'd be funny if they won because I think
shut Fortnite down. That would be too good.
yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but
They'd have to settle outside court.
I'm still bitter that Epic shut down Paragon. So if they shut down that, I'm okay with this.
If they shut down, is Paragon shut down yet?
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
It went last month.
Went last week.
It went in April.
In April. You still hurt about it?
I am. I'm still butthurt about it, and Fortnite still
don't
have great service.
Don't blow your nose in that t-shirt. That's not. No, don't do that. That's not what it's for.
And just the last bit of news, if you want to call this news, we are not getting a PS5 until 3 years' time, at least.
Just gonna cut that section out and go, we're not getting a PS5, and just leave it at that.
Yeah, leave it at that. Yeah,
just leave it at that.
Ever.
Completely out of context and put it everywhere.
But apparently, Sony they're making a new handheld system as well. So I don't know where they're going to go with that.
In a few months again.
But is it going to be a handheld with like a touchscreen like the Switch? I know the PS Vita had a touchscreen and stuff, but are they going to aim for that slimline like Twitch model, or are they going to go for like a new version of the PSP but just make it bigger, or like a PS Vita make it bigger?
Well, I mean, I'm on Vita Island myself. I absolutely love that system. If anyone asks me what's your favorite handheld of all time, I'll always say the Vita. I don't care if it's discontinued. I still play that thing on a regular basis. I love the remote play on it. I think some of the games that were made for that are just absolutely brilliant. And I also like playing games that are on my PS4 on remote play. I thought that system was ambitious in a way that other handhelds are not, and I would love to see them reignited. I'd love to see Vita 2 or something like that.
They always do it with the handhelds, though. They just use them as a stepping stone to the next console.
The only thing that annoys me with Sony when they re-release something, especially the handhelds, because handhelds have followed the same pattern so far, is they just cram all of their old stuff into it. They don't like a lot of the Vita catalog. Yeah, a lot of the Vita catalog is just from the PSP and the PS1.
Good consoles. Or handhelds.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but I feel like there wasn't enough made specifically for it.
Yeah, they should get the license with indie developers.
I don't think that another generation, if they don't add something new to it, or if they don't like bring it up to par to be like as good as like say a PS3 or something like that, I think it has to have either be leaps and bounds ahead of the Switch or like directly competing with it for it to get any sort of like traction and get the ball rolling for it.
Nintendo seems to be really the king of handhelds, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like definitely, but they've got some serious good properties that work well on a handheld.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to back my Vita.
Yeah.
I personally think that's, for me, it was one of the best handhelds just for what it did. And I know the games, there's a lot to play on that Vita. I mean, if you go into the store on the Vita, there is an awful lot of games to play. Like games that came that were for, say, the PS3 that got re-released. I mean, Persona blew up on the Vita. It's one of the best games of all time. Now I know it wasn't made specifically for that system, but it was nearly got known on that system, if you get me.
Yeah.
And it was, for me, it was a kind of a place that I could play JRPGs like the Final Fantasies. I could go and download it on the Vita, and it was ready to go handheld, which I think is a great way to play JRPGs. You can, turn it off, put it down. Whenever you get a free chance, pick it up. It's not a case that you have to sit down, get comfortable. It was just, you're going on a journey, you grab your Vita, what am I going to play? And I think there was a lot of games that were great for traveling and great for the hardcore scene as well. In Persona 4, I love the Vita, and I'm going to back it to the very end.
No, I think you have a lot of people backing you up as well. It is a good handheld.
I have a Vita. I have no problems with the Vita. I just feel like they didn't have enough original titles. There is a really good series on it called Soul Sacrifice, though. It's kind of Dark Souls-y, but it's not really. It's more like a. Did anyone ever play?
It's an adventure.
Devil May Cry kind of.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, kind of like chaptery kind of version. It's kind of like that. It's quite good though.
What's it called again?
It's called Soul Sacrifice, and there's a second one called Soul Sacrifice Delta.
Sweet.
Yeah, didn't you chased after, you tried to figure out why people were murdered? Is that game? Is that the same game that I'm thinking of?
No. You're thinking of the attorney kind of game thing, is it? Psychopath.
I'm trying to. Maybe I'm getting mixed up. Soul Sacrifice. It definitely sounds familiar. I may check that one out. That's one that I haven't played.
Yeah.
But like I thought there was some great. My experience with games and that was the likes of Guacamelee. You had, what else was on that thing? I'm just going down through the list here to kind of pick. Hotline Miami was fantastic on the Vita. You had the Metal Gear Solid collection, brilliant as well. Obviously not created for the Vita, but ran very well in it. Gravity Rush was an original on the Vita, which was fantastic. Anyone that hasn't played it, definitely check it out. Severed, same developers as Guacamelee, brilliant as well. But there was an awful lot of games that I experienced first time on that system that I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed the hardware. I thought it was a very powerful handheld, and I'm just sad that I didn't get as much support as I thought it deserved.
I think they were very inventive by putting the 3G element into it for online gaming and stuff. I think that was a very good step forward for the likes of like handheld gaming on a mobile like a system like that.
Yeah,
I think being able to put a SIM card in it and just top up a SIM card and being able to play online instead of having to go and use train Wi-Fi or whatever that like 100 people are using and stuff like that.
Looks weird.
You could actually play.
Hello.
And the fact that you could join PlayStation parties with your mates that are online and stuff. I think that was very like they were quite creative behind it and inventive. I just didn't get enough original titles for me.
Yeah, no, that's totally cool. Like that, and that's maybe the reason why it wasn't supported enough. I think it was held back a lot by the memory card situation, where you had to just spend crazy money to get, a decent sized memory card. That was one of the issues anyway. There was plenty of others. Games like AAA games never seemed to run as well as you think it did, as well as developers thought they would. I think Borderlands 2 was one of the last ones they tried, and it didn't really run that well. And I always felt that Borderlands 2 was the final kind of nail in the coffin. It was just laggy, and it just played terribly. But things could have been different if that ran a lot better. But look, that's just the way it goes. PS Vita Island.
Buy one.
Buy one now. You won't get any new games, but it's a hell of a system.
It's a massive library as well. Like it's not like you're going to miss it. Like I do endorse the Vita. I do think it's great. I feel like I only have it for nostalgia reasons, though.
Yeah, that's how we have everything, really.
That's true.
Hold on to childhood.
What sort of time are we coming up, guys? Are we nearly hitting the hour mark? Or
It's 10:20.
because we're through our news section, and we're kind of coming to the end of the show. If you guys want to add something or kind of go over something that we might have forgot, I'm looking through the notes here. I think we've covered everything. If there's any maybe questions on Facebook, that we go
on Vita.
No, I
Sorry?
think Facebook is messed up.
Facebook is messed up.
They can only hear me the whole time. But we
No
put
way.
the link for YouTube in, so
All right, yeah.
there.
Okay.
So
Sorry about that.
Paddy's
We'll
Paddy's
get
up
it
and
right
messing
next.
up again.
I'm not really much for techie.
Yeah, I'm happy with that first show. I think it went very well, apart from the first time we tried it, and Paddy had a little bit of a mess of it.
Paddy's EP blunders. We can start that
Sponsored
every show.
Sponsored by the Republic Game.
Cassidy,
Just
don't
have a
waste time.
have a blooper reel as an intro.
Yeah, exactly.
There could be plenty of them. Don't be worried about that.
But so Paddy, if you want to go and just do your few plugs and what you've been doing on your end, and we'll get out of here.
My only plug is the Republic of Gaming. That'll do.
That's what the podcast is.
That's it. Republic of Gaming podcast, the website, the emails, everything.
Anyone who's watching who streams or has a YouTuber channel that wants a shout out on the podcast can just on Facebook and stuff, and we will help. Or if anyone wants to join us on the podcast to promote their channels and stuff, they can also ask us on Facebook, and we can bring them as a guest.
We'll have a few guests on in the next few weeks. I was hoping to get Petso on from the Allcast Irish Gamers, but he was a bit overloaded, the poor man. So he might be on next week or the week after, maybe.
Yeah, Seamus, do you want to shout out, or are you good?
No, I think that was it now for me.
Yeah. So again, if you're a YouTube creator, content creator, anything like that, and you want to come on and just have a chit chat with us, and I mean it's laid back. We want to just give you a little bit of news and talk about the gaming industry and just have fun. Just email us at the Republic of Gaming Community at gmail.com, and we'll get straight back to you, or just get on to us on the Facebook, which is the Republic of Gaming Community. And we've been trying to grow that for the last few months, and we've been growing steadily. And if you're a writer or a content creator that want to come and join the team, just let us know as well. Just drop us a line. But yeah, that's been kind of us. Check out the Facebook, check out the website, and this will go up on the YouTube after we're done here. If you missed the show, you can check it out there, and I will try and get an MP3 of it as well, and possibly get it up on iTunes in the near future. This has been episode 1. I've been your host, Ronan Fox, and thanks for dropping in.
Thanks.